All right, West Texas, we're back. This is the Chad Hasty Show. Steve Evans in today for Chad. Number to reach the show, 770-5790, toll-free 1-800-687-0790. The KFYO text line is up at 806-680-2790. We've said anything that offends you today, what's your email, Chris?
Which one?
Which one?
I want to say something.
You can get me at steve@s7radio.com. Ronnie Keister, Chris Winn hanging out with me today.
You're not going to say this yourself, so I'm going to say it for you. Mr. Chairman, you are chairman of the Lubbock County Republican Party.
I am.
And you're a voice for the party. And,
I highlight that on occasion.
And well, you should, because it's important. This community needs to know that you're kind of the guiding light of where the party is here locally right now. And want to compliment you on the filing period.
But the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, well, don't worry about that.
We've alienated.
I don't know.
Today.
I always like that part. Can I get a witness?
Can I get a witness?
I mean, we're all looking for witnesses, but the fact is, the party's in good shape. Locally,
party's in great shape. Locally,
we have probably one of the
united.
most respected senators in the state legislature. We have a highly regarded congressman in Jody Arrington.
We do.
I am very impressed with how he has navigated a freshman term in Washington at this time when there's a lot of things that some would shy away from. You know, they always say, sit at the back, don't say anything, no comment. And people have brought him forward. I'll give him credit that the leadership, Paul Ryan, and some of the others have said, hey, Arrington knows how to talk.
The great
knows
thing
how to
about
state
Jody
things.
is we told Jody, go represent us.
And he has.
Ag, the CD19 congressman needs to be sitting on the Ag committee.
Yeah.
We are the largest epicenter of agriculture in the state of Texas, right here within a 100-mile radius of Lubbock, Texas. Our congressman needs to be on the Ag committee.
This is the showroom for agriculture.
Absolutely. And what did he do? He went and got himself on the Ag committee, but that's not all. He's sitting on Veterans Affairs, sitting on budget, a well-rounded, great selection. So
no question.
That right there told me all I needed to know, and then now we can.
And what the most important thing, which I know you're aware of, is we're going to be talking about the Farm Bill.
We're going to be talking about the Farm Bill and cotton back in Title I of the Farm Bill.
For those people that maybe haven't read the minutia of this new tax bill, God bless Donald Trump for pushing it through and building a coalition and getting it done before Christmas. There is a huge reaction to this, not just on the Wall Street side of things, but the consumer reaction at this time of year. You're seeing it, you're feeling it, and he said, wait till February. It'll be in your paycheck. The fact that they gutted Obamacare.
Gutted the individual mandate.
That's all people need to feel is that there's an optimism that some of the silliness that's been going on for the last 8 years is gone. But then look at the rest of our team.
That's the biggest job right there, Chris, and you highlighted it. Consumer confidence.
That's it.
And
the numbers came out
the economy.
On the spending,
what makes it
Christmas season spending was up $40 billion or something.
Absolutely.
Have we even heard what the internet, Amazon and what's going on there?
It'll be some time before they get those numbers. But one thing we need to highlight here, and that's what's important, and I take an opportunity every so often to highlight it. Most people that sit in Lubbock, Texas, of no fault of their own, don't realize the impact that cotton and agriculture has on Lubbock right here. I mean, your job as a whatever you go do during the day exist because we have an agriculture economic engine, and really it's the largest. We don't have a lot of industry here, folks. We've got farmers. And
Mr. Chairman, to give credit to a large group of people here that have spent years, being our diplomats, our ambassadors for agriculture, people like Steve Verrett, people like Tom Sell, former Congressman Combest. These people are great resources for Jody Arrington.
Absolutely.
And so many others, the people at PICO, the people at PCCA, Trinity Cotton. I mean, we've got some of the leading marketers in the world that are here in Lubbock. There's very few places you can look at. Liverpool being one of them, with the heritage of the merchants in Liverpool, but Lubbock is the epicenter.
Absolutely, and I can tell you that anywhere that I go, traveling around the countryside at cotton gins, when you know, one of the things I always like to ask, where's seed at? I'm always curious, where's seed at? And they will always say, West Texas did this. Yeah. West Texas dumped a bunch of seed on the market. West Texas held a bunch of seed. West Texas did this. And they know that the seed market fluctuates based on what we do right here in West Texas.
So we're fortunate. Back to, you being the chairman, you've got there are very few chairmen around the state of Texas that can look at their team of representatives, starting at the top with Congressman Arrington. You look at Charles Perry is so respected down in Austin just for his reasoned and character and temperament, and he's a man of his word, and people appreciate that. He makes tough decisions. He's intelligent. I mean, when you look at the kind of material they're covering down there, it's an accountant's world, really.
Absolutely.
I know that people would like to
suited for that job.
People would like to say, yeah, you need a lawyer down there because they're making laws. Really, it's about the money, and all of us know it. The primary responsibility of that legislature, they don't have to pass a single bill outside of the budget, and they must. That is mandated by the state. That's and right. So to have a man that knows how to look over numbers the way he does is valuable. So then you go down the list further. You've got Dustin Burrows, who really is a man whose future is extremely bright. I think we'll look back years later, and we'll see that what Dustin. For such a time as this, we have these three individuals sitting there with a new speaker, next legislative session. I mean, we've been here before. I was involved when Pete Laney was the speaker and Tom Craddock was coming in. Sure. And it was like we had Carl Lycett and Delwyn Jones. And you had these two kind of tracks. It was like, which way you go. We have that same situation sitting
when you look at our slate of representatives right now, all the way up to the president, and Ronnie, your opinion too, has there ever been a time in West Texas politics? I know you haven't always been here; you've come and gone, but a time in West Texas politics where you felt more represented than you do right now today?
No, I think the great thing about the guys that we have locally is they're easy to find and they're easy to talk to. They're not camped out in Austin. They're not camped out in D.C. You can get a hold of them. You can express your feelings on whatever issue it is, and they're willing to listen, and they'll discuss it with you. They may not take your side, but at least they're going to listen to you and what you have to say.
And I'll tell you, the quality of these men that we have representing us is they were respected in their chosen fields before they ever became servants to the public. I mean, Dustin Burrows is a highly regarded attorney in this town with McCluskey, Harriger, Brazil, and Graff. You've got John Frullo in the printing business with his Midtown Printing. I remember when he first went to Austin. I mean, there were people who are like, at least we're sending a small businessman down to Austin. Mm-hmm. And then Charles Perry, I mean, God, the things I've learned about Charles Perry, I mean, the history he has here in West Texas, whether it's Women's Protective Services. I mean, he's been involved in so much that is the resource he taps into when he's down there debating any number of issues. We are so well represented. And then throw in that we are sitting in this corridor. It's so unique. We talked about the agriculture. We mustn't forget, to the north of us, we have this, Texas cattle feeders.
Absolutely.
The whole panhandle is full of the production of meat, and we're fortunate to have that up to the north of us. And then finally, and Trump has done a great job realizing you got to take care of the American energy. What we have in Midland, the people we have representing us, Tom Craddock's still down there representing those guys down there, and it's not, somebody once said to me, came from Kenya, got off the plane, and he said, "Mr. Winn, you live in the Garden of Eden." That is not said lightly. We live in a very special place.
Absolutely.
And if you listen to this radio show, you listen to Chad Hasty, you got a special voice on here every day. You got Robert Pratt on here in the afternoons, and Pratt does a great job of carrying the banner of the state of Texas like nobody else. And I sit here and I am so blessed to be surrounded by good men of goodwill. Here we're on Boxing Day, and I tell you, two of the finest guys I get to hang out with are Steve Evans and Ronnie Keister.
Well, Jody wanted to add too, Senator Perry having a retired teacher for a wife just adds to that knowledge base of something else that's very, very important.
Jacqueline makes a very quality first lady for us out here.
Absolutely.
She's a class act lady.
I really
and she's
believe,
quite an
Chris,
athlete, by the way.
I really believe, and I've lived all over the country, but I've always come back to Lubbock and always called this my home. We're living in one of the greatest places on earth.
I'll tell you real quick, I may have said this before. There's a gentleman here who's the former admiral, vice admiral, and head of the Annapolis, the academy in Annapolis, and his son-in-law and daughter live here in Lubbock. He's a practicing doctor, Dr. Tiba, and quality individual. Anyway, they decided they were going to retire, and they came here to retire with their grandchildren. And he said, "This is the best kept secret, Lubbock, Texas." Best kept secret in the United States.
Absolutely. We might want to keep it a little
we
bit
may
quiet.
want to keep it a secret. There are people out there going, "Don't tell anyone."